Emma Collins checked her reflection in the restaurant window one last time, smoothing down her red dress and taking a deep breath. At 28, she'd finally agreed to go on a blind date after her best friend Sarah had been pestering her for months. The fact that it was Christmas Eve at an elegant restaurant made it feel both magical and terrifying. What made it even more nerve-wracking was the wheelchair. Emma had been paralyzed from the waist down in a car accident 3 years ago, and dating since then had been a series of disappointing experiences. Men who seemed interested online would make excuses and disappear once they learned about her disability. The few who'd actually met her in person had been either uncomfortable or condescending, treating her like a tragic figure rather than a person. He knows, Sarah had assured her. I told him everything, and he said he was fine with it. Emma, you deserve this. You deserve to be seen and valued. Kima wanted to believe that, but her past experiences had taught her to manage her expectations. The hostess led her to a table near the window, where Christmas lights twinkled outside and snow was falling gently. Her date, Michael, was supposed to meet her at 7. It was now 7-15. Emma checked her phone. No messages. She waited, trying to ignore the pitying looks from nearby diners who'd clearly noticed her waiting alone. At 7:30, a text finally came through. Sorry, something came up. Can't make it tonight. No explanation. No apology beyond the bare minimum. Just rejection, again, on Christmas Eve. Emma felt tears prick her eyes, but refused to let them fall. She'd survived a car accident that should have killed her, survived months of rehabilitation, rebuilt her entire life. She could survive a blind date that hadn't shown up. Excuse me, miss. Emma looked up to find a little girl standing beside her table, maybe 4 or 5 years old, wearing an adorable red velvet Christmas dress with white fur trim. She had curly brown hair and bright, curious eyes. Yes, Emma managed, trying to smile. Are you sad? You look like you're about to cry. My daddy says nobody should be sad on Christmas. Emma felt her heart squeeze. I'm okay, sweetie. Just waiting for someone who isn't coming. That's mean, the little girl said with the blunt honesty of children. People should keep their promises, especially at Christmas. Lily, a male voice called, and a man hurried over, looking apologetic. I'm so sorry. She just wandered off while I was signing the check. Emma looked up at the man and felt her breath catch. He was handsome in a rugged way, wearing a navy suit that looked slightly uncomfortable on him, like he didn't wear formal clothes often. He had dark hair, kind eyes, and an expression of genuine concern as he looked at her. It's fine, Emma said. She was just keeping me company. Lily hadn't moved. She was studying Emma with the intense focus children have when processing something new. Why are you in a special chair? Lily, that's not polite, the man said, his face flushing. It's okay, Emma said gently. I'm in a wheelchair because my legs don't work anymore. I was in a car accident, and now I use this chair to get around. Does it hurt? Lily asked with genuine concern. Not anymore, Emma answered honestly. Sometimes I miss being able to walk, but I'm okay. Lily stepped closer, her small face serious. Can I hug you? You still look sad, and hugs make sad go away. That's what my daddy taught me. Emma felt tears spring to her eyes, but this time they were different tears. I would love a hug. Lily carefully climbed onto Emma's lap and wrapped her small arms around Emma's neck, squeezing tight. Emma held this sweet child and let herself feel the kindness, the pure compassion that had no pity in it, only love. When Lily pulled back, she said seriously, There, better now. So much better, Emma said, meaning it. Thank you, Lily. You're very kind. The man, who'd been watching with an expression Emma couldn't quite read, cleared his throat. I'm Marcus, by the way. Marcus Sterling. And I apologize for my daughter basically accosting you, but she has a talent for finding people who need kindness. Emma Collins, she replied. And please, don't apologize. Lily made what was turning into a terrible evening much better where you stood up?" Marcus asked, then immediately looked mortified. "I'm sorry. That's none of my business." "It's okay," Emma said. "Yes, I stood up. Blind date that apparently decided I wasn't worth showing up for." Marcus's expression hardened. "Then he's an idiot. Can Emma eat with us, Daddy?" Lily asked suddenly. "She's all alone and it's Christmas, and that's not right, Lily. We can't just invite ourselves to someone's dinner," Marcus started. "Actually," Emma heard herself say, "I'd love some company. If you don't mind dining with someone who has stood up." Marcus smiled, really smiled, and it transformed his face. "I'd be honored. Lily, go get our coats. We're changing tables." In minutes, Marcus had arranged for their belongings to be moved to Emma's table. As they settled in, ordering food and wine, Emma learned that Marcus was a widower. His wife had died 2 years ago from cancer, leaving him to raise Lily alone. "I don't date much," Marcus admitted. "Actually, I don't date at all. This is the first time I've been in a nice restaurant since Rebecca passed. My sister insisted I needed to get out, to remember there's life beyond work and parenting. So here we are, Lily and I, on our fancy Christmas Eve adventure." "What do you do?" Emma asked. "I'm a contractor, but I own the company now. Sterling Construction. We build things, renovate old buildings, that kind of thing. Not exactly exciting, but it's honest work, and it means I can set my own hours to be there for Lily." "And what do you do?" Marcus asked. "When you're not being stood up by idiots, I mean." Emma smiled. "I'm a graphic designer. I work from home mostly, freelance. The wheelchair actually made it easier in some ways. I don't have to commute or worry about accessibility in an office." "Do you drive?" Lily asked, fascinated. "I do," Emma said. "I have a car with special controls that I can use with my hands instead of my feet." "That's so cool," Lily exclaimed. "You're like a superhero with special powers." Emma laughed, genuinely laughed, for the first time in months. "I never thought of it that way, but I like it." Over dinner, they talked easily. Marcus told her about the struggles of single fatherhood, about learning to braid hair and navigate princess movies. Emma told him about her rehabilitation, about relearning how to do everything from a seated position, about the challenge of maintaining independence. "People either treat me like I'm inspirational just for existing," Emma said, "or they treat me like I'm broken and need constant help. I'm just a person who uses a wheelchair. I'm not inspirational for living my life, and I'm not helpless just because I can't walk." "Does that make sense?" Marcus said. "People probably do the same thing to me as a widower. Either I'm a tragic figure to be pitied, or I'm some kind of hero for raising my daughter alone. But I'm just a dad doing what dads do. The circumstances are sad, but the parenting isn't special." "Exactly," Emma said, feeling understood in a way she rarely did. As dinner ended and they prepared to leave, Lily looked between Emma and her father with a calculating expression of a child plotting something. "Daddy, can Emma come see our Christmas tree? We have lots of lights, and she might like it." Marcus looked embarrassed. "Lily, Emma probably has her own plans. Actually, I don't," Emma said. "My family is out of state, and I wasn't going to do much tonight. I'd love to see your Christmas tree, if the invitation is real." "It's real," Marcus said firmly. "And I promise it's not some elaborate pity thing. I just genuinely enjoyed talking with you, and Lily's right. Our tree is pretty spectacular." Marcus's house was a beautiful craftsman-style home, and Emma was relieved to see it had a ramp alongside the front steps. "I had that built for my mother," Marcus explained. "She had knee problems toward the end of her life. Makes it easier when I have clients in wheelchairs too. I always try to think about accessibility in my projects." Inside, the house was warm and inviting, decorated beautifully for Christmas. The tree was indeed spectacular, covered in lights and ornaments that clearly had sentimental value. "Mommy and I made that one," Lily said, pointing to a handmade ornament. "Before she went to heaven. Daddy puts it up every year." Emma felt her heart squeeze at the matter-of-fact way Lily spoke about her mother. The grief that was present, but not overwhelming. This was a house where loss had happened, but life continued with love and resilience. They drank hot chocolate and watched a Christmas movie, Lily insisting on sitting between Emma and Marcus on the couch. Somewhere during the second movie, Lily fell asleep, her head on Emma's lap. "She really likes you," Marcus said softly, carefully lifting his daughter without waking her and carrying her to bed. When he returned, he sat beside Emma on the couch, leaving comfortable space between them. "Emma, can I ask you something?" "Of course. Your date tonight. The guy who stood you up. Was it because of the wheelchair?" Emma hesitated, then nodded. "Probably." He didn't say it explicitly, just something came up. "But it's happened before. People say they're okay with it. Then they see me in person, and suddenly they're not okay with it." Marcus's jaw tightened. "That's their loss and their ignorance. Emma, I've spent the evening with you, and not once have I thought about your wheelchair unless you mentioned it. What I noticed was your kindness to my daughter. Your sense of humor, your intelligence, the way you really listen when people talk. Those things matter. Everything else is just details." "Most people don't see it that way," Emma said quietly. "Then most people are idiots," Marcus said firmly. "Emma, I know this is fast, and I know we just met under unusual circumstances, but I'd really like to see you again. Not because I feel sorry for you, or because I'm trying to be some kind of hero, but because I genuinely enjoyed every minute of this evening, and I'd like to have more minutes like it." Emma felt her heart racing. "I'd like that too. But Marcus, you should know what you're getting into. Dating someone in a wheelchair isn't always easy. There are accessibility issues, medical appointments, things that take longer or require planning. Some places I just can't go without significant accommodation. And dating a single dad isn't always easy either," Marcus countered. "There are parenting responsibilities, limited free time, a daughter who's going to have opinions about anyone I date. We both come with complications, Emma. The question is whether we're willing to work with those complications to build something real." "I'm willing, if you are," Emma said. "I'm very willing," Marcus confirmed. Over the next few months, Emma and Marcus built a relationship carefully and intentionally. They dated with Lily present most of the time, making sure the little girl was comfortable with the growing connection between her father and Emma. Marcus learned about Emma's needs and accommodations, not from a place of pity, but genuine partnership, asking her what she needed rather than assuming that Emma, in turn, became part of Lily's life, helping with art projects and reading stories, becoming someone the little girl trusted and loved. The wheelchair became simply part of their reality, something they accommodated naturally without making it the defining feature of every interaction. "You never make me feel like I'm inspirational just for existing," Emma told Marcus 6 months into their relationship. "You just treat me like a person you're dating who happens to use a wheelchair." "That sounds simple, but it's revolutionary. You never make me feel like I'm broken because I'm widowed," Marcus replied. "You honor Rebecca's memory. You include her in our conversations when it's appropriate. But you don't treat me like I'm damaged goods because I lost someone I loved." That's equally revolutionary. When Marcus proposed a year after that Christmas Eve, he did it with Lily's full participation. They'd planned it together, creating a scavenger hunt through their house that led Emma to the backyard where Marcus had built a fully accessible deck specifically for her, with a ramp and wider spacing that accommodated her wheelchair perfectly. "This is your space in our home," Marcus said as Emma took in what he'd built. "Because Emma, I'm not asking you to fit into my life despite your wheelchair. I'm asking you to be part of our lives, and that means making sure you're comfortable and included in every way." Lily presented the ring box, bouncing with excitement. "Say yes. Say yes. I want you to be my new mommy. I want you to marry me, Marcus said, kneeling beside Emma's wheelchair. Not because I'm rescuing you, or because I think you need me, but because you make my life better. Because Lily loves you. Because we're better together than we are apart. Will you marry me, Emma Collins? Yes, Emma said through happy tears. Yes, to all of it. Their wedding was beautiful and fully accessible. The ceremony that honored both the love they were celebrating and the loss that had brought Marcus to this point. Emma wore a stunning dress and wheeled herself down the aisle with confidence and grace, refusing to let anyone push her dot in her vows. Emma spoke about the Christmas Eve that changed everything. A year and a half ago, I was stood up on a blind date. I thought it was the end of a terrible pattern, proof that I'd always be rejected because of my wheelchair. Then a little girl asked if she could hug me, and everything changed. Lily showed me that not everyone sees disability as a limitation. Marcus showed me that the right person doesn't love you despite your challenges, but includes those challenges as part of loving all of you. Marcus's vows were equally moving. Emma, when I met you on Christmas Eve, I saw a woman who'd been rejected but wasn't bitter. I saw strength, grace, humor, and kindness. The wheelchair wasn't what I noticed first, and it's not what I love about you. What I love is who you are. Patient with my daughter. Honest about your needs. Brave enough to build a life after trauma. And generous enough to let us be part of that life. Lily, now 7 and serving as flower girl, gave her own speech at the reception. When I was little, I saw a lady who looked sad on Christmas. So I asked if I could hug her, because hugs fix everything. And the hug worked. Now she's my mommy, and we're a family. The lesson is, if you see someone sad, give them a hug. It might turn into a family. Years later, Emma would speak at conferences about disability and dating, and she'd always tell the story of the Christmas Eve that changed her life. I was rejected that night, stood up by someone who couldn't see past my wheelchair, Emma would say. I thought it was proof that I'd always be too much, too complicated, too different. Then a 4-year-old girl asked if she could hug me, and her father saw me as a person rather than a disability. That changed everything. She'd pause, looking out at her audience. The right people don't love you despite your disability. They love you, disability included, as part of who you are. They don't try to fix you or change you or treat you as inspirational just for existing. They just see you, value you, and build a life that includes you exactly as you are. That's what real love looks like. Not pity, not heroism, just partnership and genuine acceptance. And in the audience, Marcus and Lily would watch with pride, knowing that sometimes the best families are built from rejected blind dates, compassionate children, and people brave enough to see past surface differences to the human being underneath. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales of love conquering prejudice, children's wisdom, and finding family in unexpected moments. Leave a comment about times when rejection led you to something better, or when someone saw your true worth beyond your circumstances. Share your thoughts on dating with disabilities, on teaching children about inclusion and compassion, on building relationships based on genuine acceptance rather than pity or inspiration. Remember, people with disabilities aren't looking for heroes or inspirations. They're looking for partners who see them as complete human beings, worthy of love, exactly as they are.